we'll move on next to Dr. Sarvanan's talk.
Yeah.
Sai, can you play his video and Sarvanan will narrate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anand. I'd like to thank VRSA, Dr. Shobit sir and Anand for having me here today. So we'll just be seeing some techniques of tackling intraocular foreign bodies, especially the non-magnetic ones. Sai, can I?
Dr. Sarvanan is a very gifted surgeon from Arvind Eye Care System and my colleague from Arvind Coimbatore.
Yeah, thanks. So to tackle with the myriad sizes and shapes in which the foreign body is present, we have multiple instruments and other ingenious techniques as well. So if it's a magnetic foreign body, dealing with them is quite straightforward. You just mobilize them, use the rare earth magnet, and then remove it. But when you have a non-magnetic foreign body, then that's the issue like you'll have to deal with. So here, this is technique we are using a suction of the vitreous cutter, or you can have even a hard tip cannula for this, which can be used to lift the foreign body towards the anterior segment, and then you can deal it either through the limbal section or through the sclerotomy itself. This is the case of foreign body with corneal tear as well as cataract, and you can see the suturing of the tear and the removal of the lens, and to keep the sclerotomies without sutures, we just mobilize the foreign body with the suction itself, and then with the handshake technique using a McPherson, we were able to remove the foreigner. So this is one more case where the suction technique using a blunt cannula is used, and this will help you to angle the foreign body in the right orientation to remove through a smaller sclerotomy. Because sometimes it's very difficult to orient them to remove it through a smaller sclerotomy. So you can see that that's being mobilized. The left hand has got the suction and the right hand has the engrasping forceps. So for other foreign bodies, you can use the lasso technique. In this case, I am using a 90 proline, which is inserted into intravenous cannula to make a lasso. People have tried using the silk sutures with the syringe also. Here, this is the two 90 ends of the 90 proline, which is inserted to the steel part of the IV cannula, intravenous cannula. And you can adjust the loop and then plug it in to maintain that loop size. So you make a routine sclerotomy like you usually do and pass the lasso. After releasing the vitreous around that, you just pass the lasso around the foreign body and then sort of hook it, and then you can remove it. So in case you don't have a rare earth magnet or you're dealing with a non-magnetic foreign body, this can be a way of dealing with it. So this is a case of a blast injury with multiple pieces of stone inside the eye. There were 2-3 smaller pieces which were used with just the suction using a blunt cannula. And you can see that is coming out the small pieces. And for the larger piece, we use the 90 proline lasso. So stones have a very rough surface and it's easier to hook them, unlike metallic foreign bodies. And then you can see the lasso being hooked on, and then I'm trying to drag it out. It was coming in the wrong orientation and to the wider end, and I was trying to pull it too hard and I ruptured the proline suture, as you can see here. So after that, then I used the suction to sort of reorient it, rotate it, and then using a routine conjunctival forceps was able to remove the store in foreign body. For extremely large foreign bodies, it's better to deal with using the prong forceps. You may have to use a Chandler slide because it's very difficult to orient them and hold them because the prong forceps got very less grip. So this the prong forceps. This is actually a large scleral tear there. I just extended it and then removed it, the phone, and then dealt. There's one more case of a child who had an injury with a pencil end. It broke off at the ciliary body, pars plana, and it was so slippery. I had very difficulty dealing with it and holding it. I dropped it multiple times. First, I tried the forceps, then I used the suction But the main issue was holding with the McPherson forceps. So almost 10, 12 times I dropped, and then finally I was able to reorientate towards the shorter end and then remove it. It's very slippery. So this is a handshake technique with the suction as well as the McPherson forceps. So this one more case where there's a bone arrow injury where the coconut leaf stem was stuck, which was sort of impacted between the sclera and the retina nasal to the disc. It was an infected eye with a lot of exudates in the vitreous. So I realized after clearing the vitreous, it was a very large foreign body. I was not able to assess this using ultrasound. And then it was totally tightly entangled with the sclera and the retina posteriorly. So very difficult to mobilize it. I had a little bit difficulty sort of releasing it from the retina. I had a small tear out there also, really extended when I was trying to release the posterior end because I was not able to release the scleral end. So I didn't want to drop because already the retina was inflamed. I didn't want to create additional tears. So I thought I'll fill the eye with silicone oil so that it will not move around. So I was doing the fluid air exchange and then filling the eye with silicone oil. And then I used the prong forceps to deal with this. So that's the oil going inside, and this is the prong forceps. Luckily, the lens was still clear. You can see I was trying to mobilize with a light pipe and holding it with the prong forceps. There's a very rough edge, a little bit flat end, and it's not coming out easily. But you can see that even though I missed it, the foreign body is not falling down. So the additional risk of creating a retinal injuries was prevented by using silicone oil in this case. So I just re-grasped with the prong forceps and then was able to remove it in the second attempt. That's about it. I just wanted to highlight various techniques I have tried out, and each person will have their own ingenious instruments as well as techniques to deal with such cases. I'd like to welcome comments from other panelists also. Thank you.
Thank you, Saravanan. I mean, there's a wide variety of cases.
Beautiful.
My only little comment was that in any case, for example, that pencil tip thing, I think just to make sure that it doesn't slip, once if you're taking it through the corneal scleral root section, then it's better to make a larger incision so that there should be no resistance to egress at that point. It's difficult to do it when you're taking out through a sclerotomy. There's a limit to which you can.
Actually,
but here, I think
the opening was larger, but somehow it was always slipping out. Even a small hit at the edge of the wound was making the foreign body fall. But it was very smooth and rounded. It is that type of pencil where the lead is hooked onto a plastic base.
I understand.
Larger than the routine pencil.
It is a slippery customer. Yeah, I know. Also, Dr. Cyrus wants to know why couldn't you use a PFCL in the last case? Instead of silicone oil.
No, I used oil in that. You can use PFCL, but PFCL is a little bit more watery and the foreign body tends to fall down. You can see in this case, even though I missed it, the foreign body never moved even a single millimeter. It was just floating in the oil. So I felt anyway, I have to fill the oil in this particular patient because of the large retinal injury nasal to the disc. So I thought oil will be more viscous and lesser movement compared to PFCL, which is more watery and fluid.
Excellent. Dr. Charles, your comments on this, and we're pretty much over time, but your comments, please.
Very quickly. Excellent surgery. The most beautiful forceps we ever had were the Machmer Perel forceps that Grishaber made that were diamond coated. Unfortunately, they had a negative acting handle. You had to squeeze it to release it. So it's a bad handle, but the best tips. But they don't make them anymore. I wish we had that. The lasso technique and the section technique were very well described. I thought it was excellent work. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any quick comments?
Sangeet has
from Sangeet, yes, Sangeet.
One thing, the instrument I personally use to these slippery bodies is the plug holding forceps. Once you put it in and catch the foreign body in the plug holding forceps, even a small rounded pellet like thing will come out very nicely, so it won't slip.
Okay, sir.
Even the basket forceps also, I think, works well in case of larger.
Very small mouth. You cannot hold. Probably the claw forceps, which
Manish Papai.
Manish Bapai.
Bapai.
Very good
Manish
forceps.
Bajpai.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only
that-
thing is
that
we need to
works.
know the orientation when it opens up. Otherwise,
that's very
sometime
important.
we might hit the retina and cause.
No, you
pain.
should open it inside the cavity, and it's great for irregular.
Irregular foreign bodies.
Irregular foreign bodies. So
Yeah.
terrific. Thank you very much. We have the other session speakers also waiting. It's been an absolutely amazing session. I'd like to thank Dr. Steve Charles for a wonderful lecture, taking time out so early in the morning on a Sunday. Thank you so much. You've always been there more than anything. We appreciate your being a teacher to all of us and sharing your experiences. And I'd like to thank all the speakers for their excellent, video presentations. It's not been easy putting these together, and the panelists for their erudite comments and interactions and discussions. Thank you all so much. It's been wonderful.